Hello and welcome to Reality Recapped, where I recap all of the trashiest reality shows. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Heather. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology, and it's through that lens that I watch these shows and make my comments. Of course, I have not met with any of the people on this show, so everything that I state is simply an opinion. My channel is a little bit of education and a whole lot of snark. Today I'm recapping Season 1, Episode 4. There are many miracles in this episode. The first is Christine having Truly. What a beautiful miracle. The second is Robin is actually taking care of other people's children. But we see McKelty back there. Maybe she's the one who's really taking care of everybody? But one of the biggest miracles that I saw in this episode, besides life coming into the world, is that Robin actually was able to produce a tear. Sure, it's only out of one eye, but one eye is better than no eye. The episode opens with a very pregnant Christine talking about Truly.
Truly loves everybody in the family. She loves them all, and she goes insane when Cody comes in the room.
She usually responds to my voice and other things that I do.
She's not moving much today.
Other things that you do? Like what? Like when you clean the garage, Truly's like, yay, go dad. It's funny because Truly is already over Cody, and she hasn't even been born yet.
I was surprised when Christine said she was going to have another one. I'm like, what? Because Christine had a miscarriage, I guess it was maybe a year ago. She got up in the middle of the night and actually hemorrhaged. It was really scary. She could have died, I suspect.
We were just going for an appointment. We were just going to go see if I wanted to be induced.
You're a little what? Nervous?
Yes.
What's that? How does that go?
Nervous. Yes, that's how I feel.
So here's my 2 cents on this scene, and they're opposite. So I kind of want to talk to you about what I'm seeing. If I didn't know Cody and I didn't know how serious the miscarriage was, potentially, to Christine's health and life, maybe I would just think, oh, this is just a husband and he's being very playful and it's a way of reducing stress. And he knows how to kind of reduce her stress level through humor. So that's one possibility that I'm seeing. The other possibility that I'm seeing is Cody, who definitely has a track record of lacking normal empathy levels and not being supportive of his partners. But what happens when you think you have someone kind of figured out, and I kind of think I have Cody figured out, is that you do things that are unfair to them. Like this kind of actually probably seems like a really sweet scene where he's like talking her down and he's not being a complete jerk. But because I have all this past information, I'm like, is this him really helping or is this him being a jerk still? So be aware of that if you're dealing with somebody that you kind of feel like they have this pattern of behavior. Be aware that you can also see it where it doesn't actually exist. Whether it exists here or not, I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I know for myself, I appreciate humor, but there's a point like when my stress level gets super high where jokes do not help and it's actually going to make things worse and I'm going to feel even more alone. But it seems like Christine's very receptive of what's going on. If you have any opinions about this, I would love to hear it. When you are stressed, do you like people to kind of make a lighthearted kind of jokes to help you relieve that stress? Or do you prefer a more serious tone when things feel really heavy?
Babysitting's taken care of. Robin said, what do you want me to do when you have the baby? Because I'm not going to come over and take charge unless you want me to. I said, I really want you to just come over and take charge. So we're set. She's just going to come take charge.
Cool.
Yes.
Cool. Just seems so flippant. Cool, you got my new girlfriend to take care of our kids while you give birth. Cody, could you maybe have managed that? Maybe figured that out? The thing I wish Cody recognized is that if you give your spouse nothing and you don't really help them manage things and share the burden, the weight of like just normal day-to-day stuff, most people understand that in relationships, you're there to support the other person. You're there to like help. And he has no concept of that. It's like he's the prize and they have to like vie for his attention. But the reality is that they don't need him. I think Cody probably did the worst thing for polygamy because he is not a good partner. And it doesn't matter if you're in a monogamous relationship with someone like Cody or if you're in a polygamous relationship with someone like Cody. He doesn't make a good partner. He doesn't have the skills that people look for in partners. I have a few comments that talk about Brady from My Five Wives, which was a show that was also on TLC, and they were wanting me to contrast Brady with Cody, and I think that is a fantastic idea. So this past week, I decided to go back and start watching those episodes again because my memory of Brady was that he was very empathetic and had the skills that you would want in a partner. I'm still going through those episodes, and once I feel like I have more of a handle and understanding of their dynamic, because I will admit when I first started rewatching these series, I think I'm so stuck on the fact that it seems like such an unfair situation for women. Women are competing for time, energy, and resources, and it just seems inherently misogynistic. But that's my own cultural bias, right? If women want to be in these kinds of relationships, who am I to tell them that they can't? And now we're heading back to Robin talking about gathering all the kids while Christine goes to her doctor's appointment.
So I ran over and grabbed Janelles and Christine's kids and took them over to my house, and we had a pate. Going from 3 kids to, 15, it's sort of overwhelming sometimes because I'm going, whoa, there's a lot here and there's a lot of needs here and that kind of thing. But coming from a broken family myself and having a stepfather become my daddy, embracing me as his daughter, all his own. So it's easy to extend that. It's very natural.
So I shouldn't be surprised that the only time that Robin actually is able to produce a tear is when it's about her and her childhood and that she came from a broken home. I am very curious about her upbringing. So according to their book, Becoming Sister Wives, The Story of an Unconventional Marriage, Robin says, I was raised in a polygamous family in southern Utah. My mother was my father's second wife. They had a truly wonderful marriage, a honeymoon experience that lasted for years and years. Their relationship was sweet, loving, and respectful. They put their family and their happiness in front of any petty grievance that might crop up. I was determined not to marry unless I could find the same kind of relationship. I grew up knowing that accepting the doctrine of plural marriage was entirely up to me. I got married at 21 to a fellow member of my faith. He was from a well-regarded family in our community. Despite the fact that my then-husband's family members were spiritual leaders, our marriage was not solid. We struggled right from the start. I've had some people comment that Robin's mother was actually the mistress. And actually, it wasn't that they were in a polygamous relationship. It was that she was a mistress and that family was kind of hidden from the other family. So please take this with a grain of salt. I don't have any outside sources that confirm this. But if this is true, it makes so much sense with how Robin behaves with the other sister wives and how she elicits more favor from Cody and is completely okay with drawing a husband away from his 3 other wives so that she and her children can benefit from his time, his energy, and his resources. Let's go back to Robin talking about her first marriage. I tried my hardest to make the marriage work, both for our own sake and for the sake of 3 children my ex-husband and I had together. But what started off as unstable disintegrated into something destructive. After 7.5 years of marriage, we separated. A year and a half later, we were divorced. Both my marriage and its collapse were incredibly difficult for me. I suffered a lot of pain and hardship. I had been badly mistreated and misled by my ex-husband. While I knew that he was the source of a lot of my grief, part of me still believed that I was a failure because I hadn't been able to make my relationship work. Robin goes on to say that because her marriage was so difficult, she decided to adopt a character that could help her get through it. She-Ra helped me protect the softer, more sensitive parts of my psyche. She built a wall around them so they wouldn't be battered or bruised. I knew that it would be going against my nature to throw away the kindness and caring that are important parts of my character. So instead, I developed this mechanism to shield them. She-Ra helped me put up a fortress around my vulnerabilities and develop a hard, impenetrable side so that I wouldn't fall for anyone's tricks again. She-Ra was instrumental in helping me cope with the emotional turmoil caused by my marriage. She was there to ensure I would never be hurt again. any man who approached me was going to have to prove himself in every way possible, and he would have to go through Shira. So I think the idea that Robin felt like she had to create another character that could protect her might seem a little odd, but actually to me, it makes complete sense. I think Robin was raised with very specific messages about what makes a good wife. So how do you protect yourself if you always are expected to be embracing of other people and accepting and loving? So she created this character who could embody these traits that were not desirable in women. And so by pushing it off onto this character, she could still see herself as what men valued. So she wouldn't have this fear that she wouldn't be able to attract a mate if she pushes all of these traits off to another character. I'm still valuable, people will still want to marry me, but I've got this character here that can kind of step in and take care of me. We could do a better job of teaching younger kids that being kind to people is really important, but you have to include yourself in that circle. When they talk about kindness and being a good wife, sending kindness out to others, but it's not considering yourself and how you're treated. It's always to give, which seems really beneficial for other people, but you need to include yourself in being kind to yourself, taking care of yourself, making sure other people are respecting you, and if they're not, addressing it. So it would be great if she could integrate all those things. They're important traits for humans to have, regardless of your gender. In the book, Robin goes on to talk about how it felt after being divorced. A few weeks later, my mother started bugging me about attending a church dance back in Lehigh. I had no interest in going. I was embarrassed about showing my face as a single woman again, a divorcee. After all, everybody knew my story. I had been married to the son of a very prominent family, so my dirty laundry was public knowledge. FYI, this is Christine's family. This is Christine's cousin, which is crazy. But anyway, so back to the book. It made me uncomfortable, but my mother insisted that I, quote unquote, get my scent out there. Gross. It's funny because there's like this duplicitous kind of nature. Like, I think their religious beliefs makes them feel like, God created them, right? And so they're above animals. But like statements like this, like clearly you're acknowledging that we're all kind of just animals and pheromones are a thing. It's funny how those two things can kind of coexist. And like, man, if anyone ever told me to go get my scent out there, I would need time to recover just from that thought, even though, it's accurate. Pheromones are a thing. I don't know why. I'm just surprised that the editor saw that and wasn't like, you might want to take this out. It feels cringy. It might be true, but it feels super cringy. This reminds me of a study that I saw a long time ago that I wanted to share with you because it's gross and interesting all at the same time. So what they did was they gave men clean t-shirts to wear for 2 nights and then returned to the scientists. The scientists put these in a box separately and then had women who were volunteers come in and smell the boxes and to rate each t-shirt as to the intensity of it, the pleasantness of it, and the sexiness of it. And the results were striking. Overall, the women preferred the scents of t-shirts worn by men whose MHC genes were different from their own, which supports the theory that chemical signals or pheromones help in mate selection. Picking a spouse who has immunology that's different than your own so that your offspring fare a better chance against disease and organisms. That's the theory that drives behind it. Again, we're getting into environmental psychology, which is fascinating. I'm going to leave a link to this video as well as the article that I have posted up here. The video is super cringy and it might be worth a look. I would embed it into this video, but with all the copyright claims I've been dealing with, I'm just not taking any chances right now. Let me know what you guys think of that video that I linked in the description. It's only like 3 minutes and 20 seconds long, and it's pretty interesting. So anyway, back to Sister Wives, the first season, 4th episode. Tangent upon tangent today, I tell ya.
It's your 13th child on the 13th day. What was your
We have to induce.
your 13th biological child on the 13th day? Holy cow.
We should.
Okay.
Serious.
Okay.
Let's see what the doctor says.
Okay.
Yeah, I just thought that.
If you think it's a cool idea, she's my 13th child.
And it's the 13th.
And it's the 13th.
I'm a week over at this point. I'm kind of like, let's just have her.
Okay, I'm cool with that. I'm kind of excited.
I know, me too.
It's like Christmas
What?
Day's here. I can be excited now.
No.
Okay, let's get started.
Okay.
So they set up to induce Christine, and the nurse comes in to talk to her about an epidural.
An epidural with your other hands? So you're ready to try this?
Yes.
I love it.
I'm thinking sixth
This is good
child. I
stuff.
deserve it.
I've done deliveries with polygamists before. So she your first
Blessed.
wife?
She's the third.
Third, okay.
Yeah, so I was blessed with her.
I have a lot of polygamist ancestors, and that's okay. So I can't be too judgmental. It's in there somewhere.
I don't know if you heard that, but the nurse is like, I have, polygamists in my history, and so I can't be too judgmental, which kind of makes me think she's feeling a little judgmental. This nurse seems really nice, though, and welcoming, and all the great things that you want in a nurse when you're delivering a baby. But it's just funny when people are like, yeah, I can't judge. It kind of tells me, like, you kind of want to judge a little bit, though.
In our culture, home birth is a common thing.
That's because when you go to the hospital, they have all of this information they want. And the dad is sitting there trying to protect his identity because he can't be known to have more than one wife.
I mean, if the husband goes to jail, then it's a problem.
I've never really considered the ramifications of living an illegal lifestyle, such as polygamy, and the effects that would have on healthcare for women. We don't really have an understanding of how laws and legislation, what the effects of those things are until you set those laws and then kind of see the impact of those laws. I mean, we can theorize about what's going to happen. A perfect example of this is the Prohibition period. People decided alcohol was terrible, bad things happen when people had alcohol, let's ban all alcohol. The rise in violence, gang activity, and mob control shot through the roof, right? So the government ended up reversing that decision and things got calmed down again. So we don't really know when we're creating legislation the impact that that's going to have. And in this case in particular, I wonder if creating illegal policies around polygamy, if that ends up creating more of a barrier for women who are in that situation, who want to get out and how to get out. Because whenever anything is illegal, it gets driven underground. Obviously, I'm not saying everything should be legalized. Obviously, there's reasons to have things that are illegal for protection of the greater good. How does legislation affect getting help, getting protection, and getting out? Rather than if it was legal and they didn't feel like they had to be in hiding, would they be more willing or able to access services and possibly have even more free will within their community?
With all the complications in her age, I'm kind of glad to see her go to the hospital. I've had very competent home births. She has too. They've been great experiences. But I think when there's any risk like that, and most midwives would say, I'm not taking you. I was kind of glad that she decided to go the hospital route this time.
Cody texts Robin and lets her know that they're inducing Christine and she's going to have the baby today. And the kids are so excited.
I'm wondering if I should go home, change my clothes, get your stuff, kind of tell bring.
Get Aspen. Does she want to come in for delivery?
She wants to just be here after the baby's born.
All right. See ya.
This experience has been good so far in the hospital, and I'm really pleasantly shocked. So I think about all of my home births, and I wonder, have I made a mistake?
And she hasn't even had the epidural yet. So wait until she experiences that, and I think she might be a convert. So Cody tells Robin, Mary's at work, Janelle's at work, and the baby might come faster than they think. So he tells her to load up the kids that she can once the baby is born and bring them down so they can all meet their new sibling.
Yeah, my water just broke.
Okay. She'll be right back. You gonna sit back down?
I don't know.
When my water breaks, bam, I have the child just like that.
So my water just broke. Okay, and so, hurry.
Do you want to take something with you?
No.
Crackers?
See ya.
I got trail mix, granola bar.
Don't touch it. Organic.
What? I got the clue. Camera follows me, and I'm like, dude, I got a wife in labor. I'm not gonna sit here kissing my girlfriend. It's just awkward.
More than awkward, I think it's inappropriate. Your wife's in labor. You need to hurry and get Aspen and go and be with her. She's by herself right now. And not only have they already kissed, but now the cameraman's saying, hey, let's reenact this. And he does. He comes back, he takes the time to kiss Robin in front of the camera. So they're kissing twice now, not just once. And it's just so typical of both of these two to think more about themselves than like what Christine is going through, who is by herself right now at the hospital. Her water just broke, and she says that once her water breaks, her babies come fast. So stop kissing Robin and get on the road.
I'll numb up the area, and then we put the needle in and we run a tiny little tube through the needle, and then we pull the needle out and leave the tiny little tube.
Oh my gosh, that sounds awful.
I'm 15. I think that 15 is an okay age to see my mom giving birth.
I agree with Aspen. I don't think she's too young to be in the room and witness Julie's birth. And it's such an incredible experience to watch life come into the world. So I think it's fantastic that she was there, as long as Christine is comfortable with her being there.
Pretty excited.
Yeah.
You may even vote to have another baby after this. You may say, Cody, you'll have all the wives in here to have epidurals.
And now we're going to leave the hospital and go back to Robin's house, where she's still taking care of all of the kids.
And we had the Cody doll, and they were fighting over who get to play with that. And I says, you know how your dad gets to come to each one of the different houses and spend a little bit of time? You guys have to take turns with the daddy doll too.
The expression on her face when she says this makes me really upset, because it feels like this smug, I'm doing so good, I'm teaching these girls at a very young age that they're going to have to get used to sharing and not being happy. And it's hard from my cultural lens to not see this as indoctrination into accepting that you are less than because you're female. You are one of many competing for the attention of your husband.
So who would you recommend for a fertility doctor?
What do you mean for
If we wanted to do in vitro fertilization.
Why is that?
Because I've got a wife who only has one.
One ovary or?
No.
No, one child. She only has one.
Sorry, that's funny. Only one child. That's the business I'm in. His kids.
While I'm here, like in labor, it's kind of classic, isn't it?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Talking about the other wife's fertility.
Yeah.
Mary and Christine have
I
always
was
been.
looking at you, I was like, she doesn't have any problem.
Mary and Christine have always had a really close relationship.
Yeah.
In vitro is very expensive for potential results.
It can be. It can be expensive. But for some people, it's the perfect thing.
First he kisses Robin, now he's talking about fertility for Mary. Like, he has no, can you just be in this moment? Christine's pregnant, she's getting ready to have your daughter, this is your 13th child. Can you just stay focused on her and seeing only her for just, I don't know, the duration of the delivery? It just seems so freaking rude and insensitive. And this is Cody being Cody. He doesn't care about anybody else. Everything's about him. And he's going to be like, well, it just makes sense. We were standing there. Might as well ask him about it. No, you shouldn't do that. You should allow Christine to have her moment. Allow her to have her time. Why are you talking about infertility when your wife is literally in labor? When your doctor is more sensitive than your husband, you're in trouble.
Christine really does kind of hold things together for me as far as the children. So Robin, especially now, has started to help a lot.
That's not going to last, Janelle.
You want to push?
I don't know if I'm ready.
So next time you feel that pressure, you're gonna do it.
Big push. That's it.
3 more if you've got it in. Big breath.
Push.
Oh, that's it.
Wow, she's coming out.
Yeah, Cody, that's childbirth. Is this your first time? Why does he seem surprised by this?
You ready? Focus. Push.
A little more breath, Christine. Get some. Are you breathing?
Breathe. Give me half that push.
What?
Half the push.
Half a push.
There you go.
Okay, again.
You're doing good.
Can I push again?
Yep, you sure can. Big push. All right. Okay, relax.
Oh, wow. It's done.
Okay.
I felt her.
You just set her right here.
Oh my gosh, I felt the whole thing. I felt the whole thing. There we go. Oh my gosh. Aspen, where are you, honey?
Right here.
She looks like you, baby. She looks like you.
Good.
Oh gosh. Oh my head.
There she goes.
Okay, I'm all for the epidural. That was amazing.
I love these shots. It's such a beautiful moment, and they definitely did a really good job with the music and kind of creating, like, it makes me want to cry seeing all this. It's gorgeous.
Guys, Aspen just texted. Christine just had her baby. Let's get ready to go.
Let's get ready to go.
When you have 20 people, it's, pretty much chaos, especially with most of them are children.
I have to say, brown chaos is very special.
Janelle's expression looks like she's thinking, what the hell are you even talking about? You literally just moved down here. Like, you've maybe been in the family for a month and you're already acting like you know what brown chaos is. You just talked about having only 3 kids and now going to like 13 and how crazy and different that is. I don't know. Whatever, Robin. Everything's great, Robin.
Didn't you feel kind of like when we all got out of the car? I sort of felt like we were sort of this mass.
We were gonna go
mass of
overtake
people.
the hospital.
Walking
we
up
had a
to
baby
the
to see.
hospital.
You're the cutest baby ever. Are you crying? Mariah. I'm after Mariah.
No, you're not.
Yeah, it was great. It was great labor.
Did you?
Isn't she pretty?
I don't want to give you up, baby. I guess all the children have seemed sort of like my children. So it's like me just expecting another child without having to do all the work.
I was glowy. I felt sparkly. I felt like, oh, see, this is a family. And it made me excited to be joining the family for sure.
I always wanted to have a big family. I always figured I'd have lots of kids. I guess I do. I just kind of went about it a little bit different.
Doesn't she have the cutest cry? She is so cute.
So this episode ends on a lovely note. It's beautiful. I'm so happy Truly was safe. I'm happy Christine had an easy pregnancy. I'm happy she got to experience an epidural finally. And I'm happy everyone was able to come to the hospital and see Truly. One thing that I wanted to mention, in the last video, I made the mistake of using Leon's dead name. It was an oversight on my part. I simply forgot about the transition, and I've made a note. I've left it on my computer. I think it's important to call people what they're requesting. I have no problem with that. It simply slipped my mind, and I've read the comments. It doesn't seem like anyone has yelled at me for it, but I definitely felt bad once I realized that I had done that. But moving forward, I have a note. Hopefully I will remember going forward. And I hope people understand that I am never, ever intentionally trying to disrespect somebody by calling them by a name that they don't use any longer. That's it for this week, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing. It makes a huge difference on my end, and it doesn't cost you a thing. Have a wonderful week. Until next time.